34 is once again the battering ram of the Super Bowl champion Washington Redskins. Defying both Father Time and keying NFL defenses, Big John is off to another superb year following his unbelievable Super Bowl season of last year. Against the Cardinals last week, 3 touchdowns, 115 yards. There's little finesse in John, but at 235 pounds, who needs it? And Joe Theismann, who last year fulfilled a career-long ambition to quarterback a Super Bowl champion, adds the perfect blend to the Redskins offense. Directing the Skins' ball control, never-say-die attack, Theismann rarely provides the opposition with a turnover. He looks for receivers such as downtown Charlie Brown, the diminutive wide receiver with a blazing speed and remarkable ability to find the open spot. Tonight, the 5-1 Redskins, with the NFL's second-best record, meet the unpredictable Green Bay Packers led by quarterback Lynn Dickey. Dickey and the Pack, under Bart Starr, think big on offense, and why not? When you have receivers, including John Jefferson, Paul Kaufman, and the incomparable James Lofton. Tonight, it's the Pack in a critical stay-alive game against the Washington Redskins, who are attempting to stay within one game of their division-leading Dallas Cowboys, live on ABC's Monday Night Football. The legendary Curly Lambeau Field, Green Bay, Wisconsin, a sellout crowd, 56,000 plus. They're always sold out in Green Bay. These fans love their football, and they have great memories, fond memories of those multiple championship years in the 60s, and they're all on hand tonight for Washington. And, of course, it'll be Washington and the Green Bay Packers. Hello again, everyone. I'm Frank Gifford, along with O.J. Simpson and Don Meredith. Howard Cosell taking the night off, resting up from his duties on the World Series. We're looking to have a lot of fun tonight, and I'll tell you one thing about Washington, O.J., you're one of the many in which you now have become firm believers.
Well, there was a number of people skeptical about their championship last year. They felt with the abbreviated season, well, maybe their championship was a fluke, but not this year. Thus far, they've made believers out of everybody.
They do it the easy way, too, they're bullies. I mean, they're so huge on that offensive line.
Well, on offense, they're just about as good as you can get. They have the muscle. They average about 280 pounds up front. They have the muscle to run the ball, and with Joe Theismann and a host of talented receivers, they can throw the ball and make a big play.
Jacoby and Stark at tackles, they look like housing projects out there.
They sure do. If there's any hope for the Packers, it's the fact that the Redskins are rated 26 on pass defense, and that's what the Packers like to do, throw the football.
Washington has won the toss. They will be receiving to your left. You're looking at Mike Nelms, one of the dangerous return men in the league. And set to kick off for the Green Bay Packers will be Eddie Garcia. He handles the kickoff duties for Green Bay. Jan Stenerud, of course, the record-setting field goal kicker, will handle the field goal duties. We're underway from Green Bay. The Pack against the Redskins. And rather an anticlimactic opening after such a build-up. Flags are down, the ball hooked out of bounds, and we would suspect that we will now see the Green Bay Packers back up 5 yards and do it all over once again. So Eddie Garcia kicking off for Jan Stenerud, hooks it out left, and this should provide Mike Nelms an excellent opportunity for a return. Green Bay tough against the kickoff return. Their opposition in the first 6 games have only averaged a little over 16 yards a return. But Mike Nelms is third in the NFL, running it back a little over 24 yards a pop. The Redskins, again, 5-1. They're trying to stay within one of the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC East. Green Bay is 3-3 into tonight, and they are really unpredictable. They opened with a win over Houston. They lost to Pittsburgh. They beat the Rams. They lost to the Giants. They beat Tampa Bay, and they lost to Detroit last week. They've won big and they've lost big.
Every other week they get into a sling, and this week they plan to win.
It's supposed to be an on week for them.
This is it.
All right, set to go once again. Eddie Garcia, they'll kick from the 30. Nelms has moved up to about the 3-yard line, and Eddie Garcia trying to get distance on it.
Come on now, Eddie.
It's going to be 5 more yards.
That's not what you want to do.
And I hope this is not an omen of things to come.
Well, I think we're going to see Stenerud with another one. 3rd strike and you're out.
Or Bart Starr. Hey, we came up here in 1979, and Bart Starr, Mr. Consistency, Mr. Clean, Mr. Everything, and he coaches a little bit that way. We came up here in 1979. New England was heavily favored. And Bart Starr came out. He came out in a 3-4. He blitzed almost on every play. He ran reverses. He went on 4th down about 3 times, and it was a stunning upset over New England. I'm not saying that we're going to see that tonight, but Bart Starr, with the defense he has, knows he's going to have to do something a little extra special tonight. Otherwise, Washington's going to have the football all night long, and we're going to have a short game.
And they're going to have it in a pretty good field position right here.
All right, Eddie Garcia this time wises up, kicks it high, and Nels will take it from his own 13-yard line. And good coverage.
Oh, that
Green
is
Bay
good.
special team on the third kickoff attempt. They will have the Redskins inside the 30, and Joe Theismann comes on, having a tremendous year. Perhaps the most impressive part of that, those 3 interceptions, but he has not had an interception in 93 of his last attempts. That spans 14 quarters. The Redskins don't turn it over. John Riggins, who handles the ball most of the time, does not fumble. And they beat you with the turnover, your turnovers, and just absolute bullying you offensively. First and 10, the Redskins, near their 30-yard line. Riggins left side behind Jacoby. A flag is down as Ezra Johnson strung it out for Green Bay for a loss of about a yard, but again, a flag is down. Our referee tonight is Ben Dreith. And the motion illegally against the Redskins. And it'll give us an opportunity to look at a defense that is really been hurting by injuries throughout this young season.
Number 87.
There they are.
Offense.
Myron Braggs at left defensive end has replaced the departed Mike Butler. At nose tackle, a lot of trouble there. They're down to their third one. Good linebackers. They're very good. They're excellent. And they have to be because they get a lot of action. That's the secondary. And it's interesting that we have a pair of Mark Murphys of free safety tonight. They, of course, are no relation.
Well, it could be.
28-yard line. Penalty decline. There was a loss of a little over a yard by Riggins, and Riggins will try it again. Bowling up the middle and swarming defense again by Green Bay. It'll bring up third down and long for Joe Theismann, and we will see the third wide receiver. That will be Alvin Garrett, Joni Art Monk, and also Charlie Brown.
Taking a look at number 52, George Cumbie in the middle, playing the run almost as well. He didn't quite get all the way there, but he played the run very well, the interior of that line. One interesting thing about the Redskins, all good teams do it, they go to their sprint. They ran that ball to their left, which is what they like to do, even though that's the strong side of the Green Bay Packers defense.
Third down and 9. Theismann is back, trying to get the screen off. And that screen intended for Joe Washington. That could have been a lateral.
That might be, yeah.
Or a fumble.
What?
And that's Mike Douglas, the Mad Dog, and he likes to be called that.
As I said, 2 of those 3 plays went to the Green Bay right side, the left side of the Washington Redskins offense, and that's the strong side for the Green Bay Packers. They have Mike Douglas and Ezra Johnson on that side, and they're their 2 best defensive players.
There it is.
They're calling that a completion and then a fumble.
That's right. You cannot advance a lateral. So that is a completion, a fumble, and a Green Bay touchdown.
So he picked it up like a loaf of bread.
From the 5-yard line. And this time, Nels picks up an opening and breaks it off out of the 40-yard line, still on his feet, and sprawls out to the 45-yard line. And the Redskins roar right back. Dick Walker, usually the move man. Art Monk, however, wide receiver, he'll move also. Riggins left side and moving behind Jacoby. And this time it was George Cumbie who stepped inside, picked up Riggins and held him to a yard pickup. That's Monk in motion. We'll see a lot of that tonight. Theismann and Monk is there, splitting a zone defense. Monk came from the far side. We mentioned the Redskins like to use him in motion. They got him over there into his own situation, and he split the defense. And Theismann, who is throwing, that's Charlie Brown in motion. And quickly, the flanker screen to Brown. That's a good play. And Brown moving behind. Art Monk gets down inside the 5-yard line where it'll be first down, goal to go.
Move after they touch the ball.
The delirium short-lived by the Packer fans as the Redskins are knocking. First down, goal to go. Riggins in the arms of Cumbie. Third down close to the 2-yard line. Wansley is in motion. Riggins fumbles the football. The ball is loose at the goal line. The Pack is saying, we've got it.
Of course. They're going to say
Riggins, who just does not fumble the ball, has just coughed it up.
You were talking about the lack of fumbles and interceptions beginning, but with that takeaway, giveaway thing, Frank there lead the league.
The Redskins are plus 17. That's the tops in the league, while Green Bay is minus 6.
Really does have an awful lot to do with it.
Well, John, what he did, he saw the goal line, and I think he was just about to take the ball and try to stick it out there over the goal line.
Redskins, if they've got it back in the end zone, we're going to have a Redskin touchdown. Well, the Packers have indicated touchdown, but the officials have not. Second down and 10. Dickey is back looking. Hoffman is tight end. Yeah. Right on target. The first down is at the 47-yard line. And as you've already touched on, Dickey is not a very agile quarterback. John Jefferson, he has another Green Bay first down at Washington's 40-yard line. You better watch Kaufman. Second down 9, we'll call it. Inside handoff. This is Eddie Lee Ivory, and Eddie Lee Ivory picks up yardage to the 45-yard line. It will still leave Dickey in a passing situation. There he is. Fires, and it's incomplete to Kaufman, the tight end. And the Skins were doubling, trying to help Gerald Green on one corner, Bernadine on the other, and in the field goal range. They are just out of the range of Jan Stenerud. So he throws underneath. He goes to Lawson. Lawson looked for additional yardage. He'll get it just inside the 30-yard line, and we will see Jan Stenerud. He will blister you. A 47-yard attempt. Bucky Scribner, the holder. He's got the distance.
Oh, he does.
And he's got it through the uprights. And the Packers have taken the lead. No trivia on Douglas. He's only 6 foot 215 pounds, but he high jumped 6'8" at San Diego State. Was a 50-foot triple jumper.
Yeah, I like trivia like that. That's
good athlete.
Yeah.
Mike Douglas for Green Bay. Blitz is on. Second down and 10. Theismann, good effort by Art Monk. He was deep and he came back knowing Theismann was in trouble, gave Theismann a target, and Monk gets the first down in Packer territory. Walker in motion. Wiggins. This time he finds an opening and bowls his way inside the 35-yard line. He'll be short of the first down by about a half a yard. Who else? Wiggins. Pousley will have the first down. He was hit and hit hard, but he had moved through a hole provided by Joe Jacoby, or actually just a blow off the line by Joe Jacoby. Theismann back. Has the time. That was Giaquinto out of the backfield. You saw him in motion. The former Dolphin picked up in 1981. He worked so well out of the backfield. Second down, goal to go. The ball at the 4-yard line. Theismann, good play action to Wiggins. The Theismann in trouble, and he'll be sacked. Outside the 15 again, Mike Douglas. And getting help from John Anderson. For the Redskins is in the lineup. This Giaquinto, another good receiver in motion. There he is. Man. And Ezra Johnson, leading pass rusher for the Pack for the past 2 or 3 years. Swarms all over Theismann, moving right around Joe Jacoby, the huge offensive tackle on the left side for the Redskins. 12 of 15, leading the NFL in scoring after 6 games, and he is dead solid perfect. We've got a tied football game with 38 seconds remaining in the first quarter. But the Packers showing surprising strength on defense. At the 26-yard line, the Packers first down at 10, the game tied at 10. Dickey. Good defense. Tries to squeeze it into Paul Kaufman, and all over Paul Kaufman was Curtis Jordan.
And it was a good defensive play. He did come across and knock it down. Couldn't see from this angle too well. Evidently, he hit him before the ball got there.
Nicola goes on to see if he can return to action. On first down and 10. Lawson with a great move and about the most beautiful timing pattern you'll ever see. Huge square out. Dickey holding it, firing it on the break right into the arms of Lofton.
Yeah, I was wondering if a flag would be thrown on that. Last week we saw a very dangerous face mask call that really hurt Mr. Ken Anderson. He didn't pull his face mask, but he caught him by the back of the helmet and tackled him with the back of the helmet. Try to go to the end zone from here, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him try it again.
Green Bay on the roll. Well, Dickey bobbles the ball, trying to get it back to Harlan Huckabee on the toss. Slipped out of his hands, and the loss is back close to the 37-yard line. The Redskins 10, the Packers 10, and we'll be back. Curly Lambeau Field in Green Bay in a moment. It's second down and 20 for the Packers as we begin the second quarter. Dickey, Kaufman is there. This will be 6. All right. Paul Kaufman Kaufman got individual coverage on Curtis Jordan as they tried to double up on the outside receivers, Jefferson and Lofton, and he wiped out Jordan, 6-point Green Bay.
That they couldn't win a low-scoring game. The only way they can win this game is to score a lot of points, and look at the beautiful move. Gave him a little inside move to hold him and broke for the flag.
And once again, that pass was right there, right on the money.
That's number 44. They usually come left, and they do. Big opening for Reagan. Super Bowl revisited. And Riggins explodes behind Big Joe Jacoby, getting all the way down inside the 25-yard line. And so often you see that on 3rd and short, because when you get through that line, there are no linebackers, and you have got to sprint on.
Well, you said it right. It was Super Bowl revisited. It was the same situation, short yardage, and they ran a real nice play to their left side, a real nice block by Rick Walker. And Riggins amazes me. At 34 years of age, he's probably still running under 10 flat.
Riggins left side fake, and Tyson rolls out wide open. He finds the receiver down inside the 5-yard line.
Big tight end.
The big tight end. Riggins. Wansley leads Riggins into the end zone. Touchdown, Washington.
I think Riggins will wait till they get a nice lead before he starts working those statistics.
Okay.
And he just seems to get stronger, even at 34, as the game grows on. We've got a 17-17 lock here in Green Bay, Wisconsin, between the Packers and the Redskins. And we'll be right back.
And save the touchdown.
He made a heck of a play, didn't he?
2nd down and 4. Mike Meade. Big opening left side, and he'll have the first down out close to the 40-yard line. Good. Lofton in motion. Sets up to help block. Wide open is Jerry Ellis. Ellis down the sideline, looks at the first down marker, gets the first down in Washington territory at the 49, and there's a little hassle going on back at the 30-yard line. 6 games. Dickey back, 2nd down and 10. Kaufman is wide open once again, and Kaufman will have a first down. He's at the 30-yard line.
They are putting that ball right on the money. That's the passing team that lived up to the pregame billing for Green Bay.
Dickey right into the arm of the Redskin defender. That's Tony Washington back there in the nickel defense. The intended receiver was Paul Kaufman. Dickey again under pressure as the Redskins front four blowing over the offensive line. It'll be 3rd down, 13. Green Bay not a feigned pass rush. They'll try and put pressure on Theismann, however. Theismann, good mobility. He'll pick up the first down.
And good move by him to get out of bounds.
7:23 remaining in the half. Washington reverses to Archmont and picked up read beautifully. Byron Braggs pursued it and takes Monk down for a loss inside the Redskins' 30-yard line. Tie game at 17. He's got him.
That ball was not thrown very well that time.
Dickey fires one incomplete, gets the ball out to John Jefferson. He's right there close to first down yardage, maybe a little short. The ball at the 37-yard line of Green Bay, 1st and 10. The old flea flicker. Dickey won't have time to throw it. He wanted to go deep as Dexter Manley hammers Dickey out of bounds at the 42-yard line, but there will be a gain of 4. On first down, once again, Dickey, Jefferson,
he caught that.
And he was pushed out of bounds by the defender, so he did not have to come down with both feet in bounds, and he's just short of the first down. If Dickey, given the permission, go to play action and try to go with the big one. Nope. We'll take it outside. And they do, and the man's wide open. It's Kaufman. He can get up, and Kaufman's still on his feet. Inside the 10-yard line.
I love it.
I do too. Eddie Ivory faking the in run, 3rd and short. All alone was Paul Kaufman. This is fun football. They're not planning on running it in. Complete Paul Kaufman's having himself a night.
Isn't he?
And Curtis Jordan is too, but it's the opposite side of night.
Well, when you play with John Jefferson, James Lofton, and still get the respect that Paul Kaufman has around this league, you know that you're doing something right.
I'm amazed at his ability to run after he catches the ball.
Theismann on first down. He wants yardage. Joe Washington will step out of bounds, stopping the clock at 1:43, out over the 37-yard line. 2 timeouts. There's Theismann. Looks over a second down and 2. A lot of time for Theismann. Washington. He'll get the first. I don't know where they got it.
He almost ran back, didn't he?
He tried to kill the clock to conserve those timeouts, and he is very close, was very close to losing that first down yardage. Redskins near their own 40-yard line. Theismann again, a lot of time, gets it deep, goes to Charlie Brown, and Charlie Brown will have the first down at the 43-yard line.
Up throwing the ball.
They need it somewhere down around the 30-yard line for Mosley. Third and long. Theismann gets it into the tight end, Don Warren, down close to the 30-yard line, and the seconds continue to tick away. Theismann would like to throw one more pass and kill the clock, and he'll have time to do it. Second and 10. Down Charlie Brown, and Charlie Brown will have another Redskin first down. He's down inside the 12-yard line.
That's definitely in field goal range.
They're going to try and kill the clock. Joe would like one shot at the end zone. He's got one timeout remaining.
Yep, he just threw it away to kill it.
Stops the clock 5 seconds, and now I think they'll have to come with the field goal unit.
One on Green Bay, he's been... Well, he didn't even go ahead with
jump that time,
man. Mosley stretched the upright. 2 seconds remain on the clock. And the Packers and the Redskins are playing a duty here in Green Bay. That was Jeff Hayes drilling it along the ground, and here comes Harlan Huckleby. He expires the final 2 seconds here in the first half.
Didn't hurt his stats, did he?
No, that's a stat, please. Crowd loves it. We hope you love it. Washington 20, Green Bay 24. 4:20. First play for scrimmage here in the second half. And Dickey, let's don't fool around, let's throw it. And he fires, and it goes out to James Lofton. Lofton down the sideline. Oh, well. And he just about broke it off, but he gets the first down at the Redskins 40-yard line, and what an athlete. Second down and 10. Screen, trying to get it set up. Here comes Jerry Ellis.
And Kaufman again.
Kaufman saved a big game again this time. He had two. Jerry had 2 guys out in front of him.
Dickey back again. Lofton, easy first down. And Tony Washington laying well off Lofton, and this time Washington was in single coverage.
Really? Now, let's look at the defense again. It looks like right now they're going into
at the 24-yard line. First and 10, and here comes Gary Ellis.
Oh, yeah. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. He cut up right at the right time. He exploded right up the middle of the field, and they got it all going right now.
And while Green Bay, not known as a running team, if you throw the ball as well as they have been throwing it, the defensive line of Washington has to think pass rush, and it makes it much easier to run. More up tonight. Let's look at it again.
Let's take a look at it. Early in the game, we saw Okowitz really filling those lanes. You see him sort of falling back there. He's 5 yards off the ball before he's blocked. It's a beautiful cut by Gary, and he just turns on the afterburners.
That's a classic look at cutting against the grain and watching the defensive players overrun it. Charlie Brown in motion. Riggins. Just a little hesitant. That hole was there, but Riggins still negotiates 7 out of it. It'll be second down and 3. And it's been that way throughout the night. Riggins once again on second and 3, up for the first down at the 40-yard line. To Riggins, pound out the first downs, control the ball. Riggins again, little short dipper pass, and Riggins hammers for 9.
I don't think he was looking for that one, Frank.
He had to catch it.
Yeah, he said, wait a minute, I'm just supposed to be a decoy here.
Rodgers in 81. Again, play action, good.
You got
faking, and the man is wide open. It's Don Warren, the tight end.
There was nobody out there.
Theismann again, sending Riggins to the left side, and the entire Green Bay defense collapsing over there. Sideline of Green Bay. The Pack on top, 31-20. Riggins left side again, and this time he bounces off one Packer and picks up some yardage when he should have been stopped at the line of scrimmage. Charlie Brown in motion. Play action again, the screen to Charlie Brown, and a good move by Charlie Brown as he splits defenders and gets the first down close to the 10-yard line.
Good point. I never thought about that. That's good.
Riggins on the right side. And Anderson finally follows him, but he's inside the 5-yard line where it'll be third down, goal to go, and Theismann will be in the passing situation. So that's third down, goal to go. Redskins 4 of 7 on conversion. Flags are down. And Joe Theismann moves up. That was Don Warren.
Well, normally if it's an
offensive interference. Charlie Brown, the wide receiver to the right. Artmont goes to the left. And Giaquinto is in the slot.
That was a messed up someway.
Theismann and Giaquinto, apparently the intended receiver. Theismann just had to unload it, and we're going to see Mark Mosley. Guilty of offensive interference. 31-yard attempt now. Mark Mosley.
Boy, that was right through the middle.
And he pops it through, and the Redskins have to settle for 3. Good defense, and the penalty hurts. Packers 31, the Redskins 23. Green Bay from the 35. Boom. Dickey, and he got out with his helmet intact as he was buried. Dexter Manley was there. Tony McGee, Mr. Sack for the Washington Redskins, was also the man who forced Dickey into the sack.
The Green Bay defense is maybe getting a little tired, and they would have wished the Green Bay offense would have got at least.
That is blocked. Lucky Scribner's first punt is blocked, and the Redskins have it. Lucky Scribner's punt was blocked by number 48, Ken Coffey, coming from the outside. Before they get the turnover, they get so many of them, and they're knocking once again. They're down, 31-23. Washington. Joe Washington looking for first down yardage. He doesn't get it at the 10-yard line, but he has a pickup of 6. Third down 1. Riggins, who better on 3rd and 1 as Riggins gets the first down near the 6-yard line. Warren in motion and Theismann back. Theismann got Joe Washington right at the goal line, but the officials are not indicating touchdown.
Well, it certainly appeared he was in the end zone when he caught the ball. It's pretty much the same play he caught to beat the Raiders. And I guess it is a touchdown.
Touchdown, yeah.
Yeah, they did give it to him. First down 10, live action, Green Bay. Dickey, let's don't fool around, let's throw it. And the flag goes down, and we're going to get a holding call, I think, against Green Bay. Dickey, and it's touched once again.
Oh, man.
Well, I tell you, that's 2 plays in a row they got to him. Was a great on that defensive lineman because the receivers are both wide open.
Better believe that front 4 will turn it loose. And we come with the drop play up the middle. Gary Ellis. Ellis gets breathing room for Bucky Scribner, the punter, out to the 23-yard line. Back to the 35-yard line.
That Nelms goes for it, doesn't he?
Nelms hurtling out over the 45-yard line, and Joe Theismann will have good field position for his Redskins offense. 6-yard line. Joe Washington. And look at Joe. Good blocking in Washington. Gets 8 down close to the 45-yard line of Green Bay. 2nd and 2. Play action by Theismann. Hides the ball well. Fires and it's incomplete. Gets it in to the tight end, Don Warren, and there's yardage for the first down at the 35-yard line of Green Bay.
Big wide receiver split right. So I think I'll just run that.
Washington. Good move to the outside. And Wisely stepping out of bounds with the first down at the 16-yard line. 3rd quarter. Redskins trailing by 1. Washington again. They found a working area on the right side as Washington adds more yardage. He'll pick up 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. Situation. He brings in Giaquinto to join Joe Washington. Both good receivers out of the backfield. Tap away, and Mike Douglas read it all the way. Oh, and did he hit Joe Washington? Theismann He doesn't always put it down. This will be a 28-yard attempt by Mosley. And Mosley is good once again. And now the Redskins have taken the lead. They lead the Packers 33-31. 10 seconds remain in the third quarter. You got to look at Huckleby, and he settles in at the 5-yard line. Look out. Harlan Huckleby. Huckleby inside the 40-yard line of the Redskins. Brian Carpenter made the save for the Redskins. 40-yard line, first down and 10 Green Bay as we start the fourth quarter. And again on first down.
He got him.
Wide open. Down the sidelines, Gary Ellis. And he's out of bounds at the 7-yard line. It'll be first down, goal to go. Mark Murphy made the saving tackle. First down, goal to go. Roll for Dickey. Eddie Lee Ivory tried to get it in. Good defensive effort. Over on the left side, it was Mel Kaufman. A reverse. A walk-in by the tight end, Gary Lewis.
A beautiful call. Whoa, absolutely beautiful call.
Wasn't that pretty?
We saw Gary Lewis come with that reverse against the Giants, Don. Remember?
Yeah.
And he was taken trying to get into the end zone. This time it works for Green Bay.
A few weeks ago.
That sounds like the same one to me. They got off to a roaring start.
Yeah, 49 points in the first half.
Second half. That's the single setback, and here comes Joe Washington. And Washington looking for the first down. He's very close. He needed to get to the 40. He got a good block by Russ Grimm. First down, Washington. Theismann. Monk is there. Will have the first down near the 30-yard line of Green Bay, right in the arms of Mark Lee. 5 action, first and 10. Joe Washington. Another opening on the right side, and Washington, a very intelligent runner, using his blockers, gets the first down around the 20. Second down, long 8. Theismann with a good move and then a good shot.
You bet.
Fires it in to Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown down somewhere around the 2-yard line, but I'll tell you, Charlie Brown had hooked up. Don, you saw it, and then Joe Theismann just directed the traffic. He said, run the slant. You got to scoop if he doesn't. Reagan rolling into the end zone.
You know he's going to get it, and they still can't stop you. You know they got a pretty good horse, right?
The guy they have to stop is Joe Jacoby and Russ Grimm on the left side. Dickey looks over a first and 10 at his own 32. Play action by Dickey. Jefferson wide open. He'll have the first down. He's inside Redskin territory near the 49. Good call. And a great catch by Kaufman. Lofton gets the ball inside the 30-yard line of Washington. And that one credit Dickey because he knew he would get single coverage at the 28-yard line. Meade is tripped up. Good play again by Mel Kaufman, who's playing a football game tonight. The wide receivers, Lofton and John Jefferson. Dickey, wide open. Down the sidelines. Mike Meade.
Beautiful move.
And a great call by Bob Schnaufer. He put all 3 wide receivers deep. He sent Mike Meade into the flat, beat the linebacker, touchdown Green Bay. What a football game.
I love it.
And Dickey now 21 of 28, 330 yards, and we still have time to go. With Jefferson and Lofton, they all went deep. Dickey took a long deep. Meade circled out of the backfield, broke it off to the left, and he was wide open.
That was right on the money, too, though. Good pass. You like that, didn't you?
Yeah, I like that.
You like it. Right.
And here's Don Warren, the tight end. Adjust. That's Diaquinto, number 30 in motion. Theismann has Monk, and he's open at midfield. It'll be first down, Washington, at their own 49-yard line. Receiver Art Monk. First and 10, Washington. Nobody home there.
There, he got it.
And Washington ran into some Packers on the left, brought it back to the right, and picks up 6 yards when it looked like he was going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage. Second down and 4. Washington again. And again an opening, and Washington will have a first down inside the 40-yard line of Green Bay. And a game that has been remarkably free of penalties.
Team to go with Washington.
That's probably right, yeah.
First down and 10, Washington.
A little more explosive.
Play action, Theismann. Theismann will be sacked.
Credit that to the defensive secondary of the Green Bay Packers.
Got it.
Theismann back on second down and 16. Got a man going deep. Giaquinto. He makes a great catch.
Was that nice?
Two tonight for Giaquinto. Right down the sideline, the same play.
All that time, didn't it? Let's look at it from the reverse angle. Good throw by Joe. But this ball, Giaquinto just goes right out of my fingertips. Nice catch, fella.
See what he did. He did. First down, 10, the ball at the 11-yard line. Joe Washington looks for the end zone, but takes it out of bounds at the 5-yard line. He has the football near the 5-yard line of the pack. Joe Washington. Down goes Washington. With Wingo first for Green Bay.
I think I'd bring Riggins back in there.
It'll be 3.
And look at that offensive set.
That's Washington in motion. Theismann hits Washington. Touchdown for Redskins. Mike Douglas trying to stay with Joe Washington. We talked about him all night. He's run the ball well, but where he is really dangerous is coming out of that backfield.
Well, this is an unusual offensive set. Both back set way to the left. Washington goes in motion. Lets that tight end Warren clear. Comes back in. He's man-to-man on the linebacker. That's Mad Dog Douglas. And Mad Dog couldn't keep up with him that time.
That's an idea.
Well, what do you guys know?
Third down and 10. The stadium all of a sudden has gone quiet.
Not now.
Gary Ellis in a sprint for the end zone. He loses it at the 7. It'll be first down, goal to go. 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the game. And the man that ran him down, Darrell Green, the great sprinter from Texas A&I. Shot by Lynn Dickey to Gary Ellis.
I didn't even see this. You know, I want to see it again. But it has to be. That's threading the needle, isn't it? That's Monty Coleman. It's right there behind him. He had it pretty well covered, but look at Green take off.
Here's where you got to go in your zigzag. Zag. Zig.
And that will bring us to the 2-minute warning.
He zigged when he should have zagged.
That's the danger. They may score too quickly.
And look at Eddie Lee Ivory cover that football up because the Redskins are noted for tackling that ball. They've got some good old heads down there. We'll whip it out of there. Ball game. 21-yard attempt. Do they love it in Green Bay?
They love it in Green Bay.
I think America is loving this one.
I sure am.
So now, the clock will kick off. There will be 54 seconds for the Redskins to answer back. On the rollout.
Now that eats up a lot of time.
And complete, intended for Art Monk, and there are 43 seconds remaining in the game.
Hey, for Theismann.
The Redskins from their 27. Joe Washington kills the clock, steps out of bounds at his own 36-yard line. 37 seconds remaining. Third down and 2. Washington once again, and Washington kills the clock with the first down at the 49 and 31 seconds remaining.
That's Don Warren, number 85, is the guy going down the middle.
Had to throw it away to save the sack.
That's right. Good move by Theismann. Kill the clock, too.
Theismann has the time. Washington. And Washington this time to the 41-yard line.
Not quite close enough, but coverage set, so the middle should be open. But no, they don't even have anybody down there. There he goes.
There's the shot that you waited for. Fired to Charlie Brown. It's at the 21-yard line. Theismann has another play called already.
10, 9, 8.
2 seconds
They have time to get the field goal team on the field.
They'll kill the clock with the incompletion. And Mark Mosley will come out.
Is that fun?
What a game. Mark Mosley now is the man on the spot. Gary Lewis goes up. Mosley misses to the right. And the Packers. And the Packers fans are coming out onto the field. And a tremendous victory for the Green Bay Packers, to now draw to within one game of Minnesota in their division, Central Division NFC, while Washington falls to 5-2, but maintaining second place
The party's over.
in the NFC East behind undefeated Dallas.
Say that all good things must end. Way to go, Bart.
All right, Bart, milk it.
The Green Bay Packer football team is back on the field. They're taking bows. I don't think I've ever seen that.
I never have either, and I tell you, this is really an exciting football game.
Look at Lewis go up in the middle.
That's Gary Lewis.
You know, he may have blocked it if it was straight and true.
You know, if he didn't, he could have affected it. You're right, you know. Just a little off to the right.
Bedlam, Curly Lambeau Stadium in Green Bay. We'll be back in a moment. We've seen things we've never seen in football before tonight, particularly the Packers coming out to take a little bow at the end of this game. Let's go back. Pick up just the final moments of drama. Jan Stenerud, 21-yard effort, drilling it through the uprights. This was after a remarkable pass, too, Frank, when he threw the ball to Gary Ellis, which was a really, I don't see how he did that, but he got him down to the 8-yard line. That was the thrill of victory, and coming up, the agony of defeat. Wait a minute, what? Mark Mosley, after a tremendous effort on the part of the Redskins offensive unit to get it into field goal range, misses from 39 yards out. And you think kickers are not affected? Once again, the final score, Green Bay 48, Washington 47. Tonight on Nightline, President Reagan's first 1,000 days in office. What does his record mean in light of the upcoming presidential election? That's tonight on Nightline, after your local late news. Travel arrangements made through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines, the official airline of the 1984 LA Olympic Games and the proud sponsor of the United States Olympic team. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television. We will see you Sunday night from Texas Stadium. The Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Raiders. Be with us.
The most points that has ever been scored on a Monday night football game, so you better believe the fans got their money's worth tonight. And I look at that 47 points on the board that the Redskins put up there, and yet I feel like the Packers played their best defensive game this year. Now, I'm standing here with John Meyer, who's the defensive coordinator. John, do you agree with that?
Well, I know our guys played their hearts out tonight, and I think we only made them punt one time. I think our main function tonight was to play defense so the offense could get their breath a little bit, but I think the guys really did play hard. The score and the yardage might not indicate it, but I think it was one of our better defensive efforts.
The Skins have averaged just over 30 points this year. Tonight they scored 47, and yet the Packers, they came out here tonight, the defense seemed extremely fired up, more so than I've seen them.
Well, we kind of embarrassed ourselves a couple weeks ago on Monday Night Television. We wanted to come back and show the people around the country what we were made of.
Your scheme tonight, I think, was to stop John Riggins.
Yeah, it was, and then John didn't play a whole lot the second half, and it kind of threw us off kilter a little bit with Washington back there, and he's a little bit faster than John.
I was going to say, that did seem to backfire because Washington got a lot of yards on you in the second half.
Yeah, he runs the same type of plays that John does, only he gets there a little bit quicker.
So what did you try to do in the second half to contain him?
Well, we tried to get our ends upfield a little bit more than we had in the first half, and we just tried to hang on and slow him down a little bit.
Mike Douglas had a great game.
Oh, the first series of the defense.
Well, you have to be concerned because when you give up that many points, it's a deep concern to you. But I think you also could see that the game was that tight. Offensively, Washington was red hot. They just, they did everything practically flawless tonight. And even with our defense playing as hard as they could, it was just very difficult to keep them down.
Bart, what does this mean for coming games now?
Well, the first thing we have to do is naturally recover from the thrill and the exhilaration of this win. It's a tremendous win. I wanted the team to stay back out there and salute the crowd, which I think was very instrumental tonight. This crowd was really turned on. And that's a brief way and a somewhat insignificant way to say thank you. And yet I think it speaks very loudly to them. And so I wanted them to stay there and say thank you to them. But we have to get this behind us and move on because we have a very tough opponent, a divisional opponent coming in here in just a few days. And so we have to get ready to play them as we did coming off the loss against the Giants. And that's going to be our task and going to be a real challenge for us.
Mark, you said during the course of the week you thought the team was ready. Did you really believe that at the time?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did, Darrell. Just the way we practiced, and there was a calm intensity about what we were doing during the week, a reassuring type of thing, and I just felt good about it. But that's hard to put your finger on, and sometimes you're wrong. But I'm delighted I was right, because we were really ready to play, and we were ready to play defensive. I know we gave up a lot of points, but you could see from the way the game opened that they came to play also. And I think you just have to salute Washington and say that they're a tremendously, powerfully strong offensive football team, and they are.
Or did you go into...
Well, there you have Packer coach Brian Tyer's opening comments to the post-game news conference. Obviously very happy, as the 55,000 fans in Lambeau Field today. Back to you, Jay and Mary.
The excitement of that game was not having to listen to Howard Cosell. That was the most exciting part of my night.
Yeah, there are times he should be shot, no question about it. But other than that, it was a great game. I've never felt electricity like that before in the field. You'd never hear anybody complain about the high salaries of pro athletes if every game was like last night. The Packers and Washington Redskins did not play football last night. They put on a show that will never be forgotten. From the very first series, you knew this game would be something special. Joe Washington can't handle this pass. Mike Douglas handles the fumble and scores the first of the 11 touchdowns in this ball game.
Well, it feels good to go in that end zone. I see why James have enjoyed spiking so much now. You know, I mean, it's just... when you're helping your team and you're making big plays like that and getting everybody excited, you know, it's the greatest, you know.
Touchdown number 2. John Riggins fumbles on the goal line. The Redskins recover, and the score is tied at 7. The teams traded field goals, and then Green Bay went back on top by 7 when Lynn Dickey goes up top to Paul Kaufman for the 36-yard score.
You know, it's a team effort. Every pass, every play is a team effort. And, you know, if the line doesn't keep him out, you know, he can't throw to me. So the line gave him great protection tonight. He threw the ball. And, you know, if that happens, we have the type of receivers that are going to get open.
John Riggins had 98 yards on the night. He scored this touchdown to tie it at 17.
I think they were maybe upset by some remarks that somebody on our team may have made. And, you know, they were going to show the world that they weren't really ranked 28th in the league when it comes to stopping a rush. I believe somebody told me that before the game, that they were ranked 28th when it comes to stopping a run, but they didn't play like it tonight.
The Packers pulled a few tricks out of Bob Schnelker's playbook on 3rd and short. Eddie Lee Ivory sweeps right, throws left to a wide-open Paul Kaufman.
But I thought that the play calling of Bob Schnelker was the finest that I've ever seen in a lifetime, and the execution of it was a close second, because he called a magnificent game tonight.
Dickey went back to Kaufman for the touchdown. Green Bay led 24-17.
I think the key to the game was their offensive line. Just super protection throughout the whole night against a pretty good pass rushing team, and they knew it was going to be a big challenge. They knew that was going to be probably the key to the game, and they bucked up and they took the challenge on. They did a hell of a job.
The Packers took an 11-point lead in the 3rd quarter. Gary Ellis breaks one 24 yards.
It's a team thing, and everybody, you don't move the ball like we did tonight without everybody doing a job, and that's the thing. And we have a hell of an offense, and we can move the ball like that.
2 Mark Mosley field goals, and this Joe Theismann to Joe Washington touchdown pass put the Skins up 33-31. The Packers pulled ahead 38-33 when Gary Lewis scores on the reverse to open the 4th quarter. Then John Riggins scored from 1 yard out, and the roller coaster ride continued at Lambeau Field.
The pace was so fast out there. We like to control the tempo of a football game, but this thing got out of hand in a hurry. I mean, it was like, you didn't actually, I wasn't actually on the bench more than 4 or 5 minutes at any stretch of time, by the clock.
Green Bay regained the lead when Lynn Dickey fired his 3rd touchdown pass. Mike Meade scores his first pro touchdown, making it 45-40 Packers. The Redskins came back once again and took the lead 47-45 when the Joe and Joe show hits again. Theismann to Washington for 6. With the clock winding down, the Packers offense comes up with another biggie. Dickey pinpoints one to Gary Ellis. Did you think he had the touchdown?
Well, I knew I had it, except I knew there was one guy out there who was going to check me down, but that'd probably be that world-class sprinter they got there, same guy that ran Tony Dorsett down. I know if he ran Tony Dorsett down, he's going to run me down. So, but I tried, though.
With under a minute left, Jan Stenerud hits a chip shot, and the Packers are back in the lead, 48-47. The Skins had one last chance. One of the most accurate kickers in the NFL. Mark Mosley goes wide right with this 39-yard field goal attempt. The clock winds down. Green Bay beats the Super Bowl champions in a thriller, 48-47.
Just missed it. Went off to the right. That's about it. When you miss one, you miss one. And there's no reason for it. You just miss it.
Oh, sure I watched it. And cheered like mad when it went wide to the right.
If you thought it was a rough game, you are right. Redskin running back John Riggins is in traction in a Washington hospital tonight. He has a nerve injury to his lower back, but he should be ready to play next Sunday.
Third down and 9. Theismann is back, trying to get the screen off. And that screen intended for Joe Washington. That could have been a lateral.
That might be.
Theismann trying to get the screen off, and Mike Douglas read the play all the way. He was right in the middle of it. So that is a completion, a fumble, and a Green Bay touchdown. Wansley is in motion. Riggins. Fumble the football. We're going to have a Redskin touchdown. Theismann back. Has the time. That was Giaquinto out of the backfield. You saw him in motion. The former Dolphin picked up in 1981. He worked so well out of the backfield. We begin the second quarter. Dickie Kaufman is there. This will be 6.
All right.
Paul Kaufman got individual coverage on Curtis Jordan as they tried to double up on the outside receivers Jefferson and Lofton, and he wiped out Jordan. 6 points Green Bay. Riggins. Wansley leads Riggins into the end zone. Touchdown. Dickey back. Second down and 10. Kaufman is wide open once again, and Kaufman will have a first down if Dickey, given the permission, little play action and try to go with the big one. Nope. They'll take it outside. Yeah, they do, and the man's wide open. It's Kaufman. He can get up, and Kaufman's still on his feet. Inside the 10-yard line.
I love it.
I did too.
It's my kind of football.
Ivory faking the in run, third and short. All alone was Paul Kaufman. This is fun football.
Yeah. Well, the ball could have been about 3 yards further, and he would have walked in.
They're not planning on running it in.
Why should they?
Complete. Paul Kaufman's having himself a night.
And Curtis Jordan is too, but it's the opposite side of the night.
Well, when you play with John Jefferson, James Lofton, and still get the respect that Paul Kaufman has around this league. First play from scrimmage here in the second half. And Dickey, let's don't fool around, let's throw it. And he fires, and it goes out to James Lofton. Lofton down the sideline.
Oh, wow.
And he just about broke it off at the 24-yard line. First and 10, and here comes Gary Ellis.
Oh, yeah.
And while Green Bay, not noted as a running team, if you throw the ball as well as they have been throwing it, the defensive line of Washington has to think pass rush, and it makes it much easier to run. That's a classic look at cutting against the grain and watching the defensive players overrun it. Again, play action, good.
Oh, you got
faking,
one guy so
and a man is wide open. It's Don Warren, the tight end.
There was nobody out there.
Warren in motion, and Theismann's back. Theismann got Joe Washington right at the goal line, but the officials are not indicating touchdown. Let's watch again. Now, Washington will be right on that goal line. They got a late call on it. I think he was in the end zone when he took it. Wingo is there defensively for the Pack.
Yep, he's in.
Yeah, he's in there.
A reverse. A walk-in by the tight end, Gary Lewis.
Wasn't that pretty?
We saw Gary Lewis come with that reverse against the Giants. Theismann with a good move and then a good shot.
You bet.
Fires it in to Charlie Brown.
You think Riggins is going to get it?
You got to scoop if he doesn't. Grimm turning inside, and he puts the screen block on Cumbie, and Riggins just Surge is in for the touchdown. Dickey, wide open. Down the sidelines.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Mead. And a great call by Bob Schnauker. He put all three wide receivers deep. He sent Mike Mead into the flat, beat the linebacker, touchdown, Green Bay.
And look at that offensive set. That's Washington in motion. Theismann hits Washington. Touchdown, the Redskins. This is an unusual offensive set. Both back set way to the left. Washington goes in motion. Lets that tight end Warren clear. Comes back in. He's man-to-man on the linebacker.
His first down, goal to go. The Pack has the football, 8-yard line of the Washington Redskins. 2 minutes remaining in the first half, and the Packers trail by 2 points.
Jan Stenerud.
And if the Pack does not get in with a very conservative play, I would imagine, you will see the man you just looked at, Jan Stenerud. And he's one of many of them. Eddie Lee Ivory covering the football. Here it is. This could be the ball game. 21-yard attempt. Do they love it in Green Bay?
They love it in Green Bay.
There will be 54 seconds for the Redskins to answer back. And all they need is the field goal. 3rd down and 2. Washington once again, and Washington kills the clock with the first down at the 49 and 31 seconds remaining.
They've got a double coverage set, so the middle should be open. But nope, they don't even have anybody down there. There he goes.
There's the shot that you waited for.
That is
fired to Charlie Brown. It's at the 21-yard line. Theismann has another play called already.
10, 9.
They'll kill the clock with the incompletion, and Mark Mosley will come out. This will be
if you ever
a 39-yard attempt. Gary Lewis goes up.
It.
Mosley misses to the right, and the Packers have won the game.
It was such a long time between the good days here that it had to rank as one of the all-time victories. That's when the Packers had this point-a-minute offense and a point-a-minute defense. In other words, they scored a ton and they gave up a ton.
I was licking my chops. You get really cranked up for a Monday night game, and I don't know what it was, but it just felt special, and just knew something big was going to happen.
The greatest shootout in Monday night history started ironically with a misfire. But make no mistake, this was a night for offenses to soar.
Actually, it wasn't a football game. It was a bunch of guys in football uniforms that were involved in a track meet. Lynn Dickey just lit it up.
Lynn Dickey's going to throw. Now he fires. Under pressure. Down. Field caught by Kaufman. Into the end zone. Touchdown. Oh, Kaufman.
It wasn't like 5 yards in a cloud of dust. It was like 25 yards and another pass 25 yards. And, let's go kick off and return it again.
Here is Dickey. Straight back in the pocket. Lynn looking. Comes up over the middle. Touchdown, Kaufman. And the Packers are back out in front again.
The defending world champion Redskins couldn't be blamed for not believing their eyes. The Packers' attack was awesome. But while they piled up points, they couldn't put the game away. And when John Riggins powered in midway through the 4th quarter, Green Bay once again needed a score. The problem wasn't designing a play, but designating personnel.
Bob Schnauker was on the sideline. He was saying, give me a fullback, give me a fullback. And Mike Mead stepped up and he gave him the play, and Mead ran in. He goes, no, not Mead. He wanted somebody that had a little more foot speed. Well, we ran the play, and he's sitting there on the sideline going, no. And they hit Mead in the flat. He turns up the field, and all of a sudden his nose turned to go, and it was go.
Mead touchdown! And the Packers are back out in front of the ball game.
Finally, at the end of the game, this is, I think, what every quarterback dreams of. It's a 2-minute drill. There's no timeouts. You're on your own 20. You got 49 seconds to go. And you've got a field goal to win the game. It's your job to get the team in position to do it. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. We scored 47 points. And the irony of this whole game is we have a chance to win it 50-48. I put the ball down. I look at Mark. I says, you ready? He says, yeah. He kicks it. He misses it. And I kneel on the ground, and I look at him, and I go, you got to be kidding me.
After 95 points, 9 lead changes, and a record-setting 1,025 yards of offense, the Packers had not only won, but claimed victory in the greatest game in the history of Monday Night Football.
The number 6 quarterback duel of all time. Dickey and Theismann light up Monday night, 1983.
This was a great one, 771 yards to the air. But how many football fans do you think, if you polled, would say, I remember where I was for Dickey Theismann?
Nothing like being 15 years old without a driver's license, no girlfriend, nothing to do but stay at home on a Monday night and root for your Redskins.
The legendary Curly Lambeau Field, a sellout crowd, 56,000 plus.
Viewers who expected a blowout between the defending Super Bowl champs and a team with the NFL's worst defense were entertained by the highest scoring game in Monday Night Football history.
It's like we got a track meet going here.
This kind of football game will put punters out of work.
In terms of quarterback duels, I'm not sure Theismann versus Lynn Dickey is going to really tickle anyone's excitement meter. But when it's the highest scoring Monday Night Football game of all time, you have to give that some respect.
It was a great quarterback duel between Dickey and Joe Theismann, who was at that time one of the league's best quarterbacks.
I'll tell you something, Joe Theismann, he is a spunky little guy. He'll talk your ear off.
I would certainly rank it higher than 6 when it came to entertainment value, quality of play.
I think America is loving this one.
I sure am.
We felt like we could score a lot of points. We just didn't count on the other guys scoring quite that many.
I was there. That's right. Nobody could stop anybody.
Dickey, Hoffman is there, becoming 6.
Our secondary that year had a nickname, the Pearl Harbor Crew. Bombs away.
They're not planning on running it in.
That ball was thrown right on the money. Dickey is really sharp tonight.
Lynn Dickey was one of those quarterbacks. He's sort of lost in football history. Would never be considered a great quarterback, but he could really throw it.
The coaches had a meeting a little while ago, and they decided the first team to 50 wins.
It became more and more obvious that we were going to have to figure out a way to match them point for point.
Looking to take the lead once again in a seesaw battle. Theismann looking, comes into the end zone, touchdown Washington.
We score a touchdown. I hold for the extra point. I come jogging to the sideline, reached over, grabbed a Gatorade. Russ Grimm walked up to me. He said, let's go. I said, we just scored. He said, so did they. Let's go.
Our number 6 duel saw 5 lead changes in the fourth quarter alone. Trailing by just a point with under a minute to play, Washington had a chance to go ahead for good.
The Redskins would have won if Theismann had just gotten Mosley a little bit closer on that final drive.
Being the holder for Mark, I knew exactly what his distances were.
There's the shot that you waited for. And it fires to Charlie Brown.
Everything went according to plan, except we didn't make the field goal.
Mosley misses the point. And the Packers. This man, Lynn Dickey, what a show he put on.
I always thought both quarterbacks should have retired after the game because it really wasn't going to get any better. Theismann already had his ring. He wasn't going to get another, and that was probably Lynn Dickey's finest moment as an NFL quarterback.